Is this on a not the bees world? No. No, this is yes the bees. Not the bees. I spent a while thinking about the best way to stream drops. Hold on. Okay. I spent a while thinking about the best way to go about doing this, because yesterday we had quite a few problems. Turn up the volume? The volume of what? A microphone? The in-game audio? I had to restart the stream really quick, because the server we were streaming to was having some frame drop issues. Yesterday, when we tried to do this, we had a lot of problems. One, the world wasn't big enough. Two, Queen Bee doesn't actually enrage in the underworld. The mic volume up? I mean, I can. Is that better? She doesn't enrage in the underworld, I mean, she doesn't spawn very many bees. She also dies, like, immediately to the wall of flesh. I'm not going to turn it up higher than that. We didn't have enough space in the underworld to kill the wall of flesh with bees. We'd get him down to, like, 1,000 HP, and that was about it. And we also just really struggled with keeping bees able to spawn, because after a while we would hit an NPC limit and the bees would no longer spawn from the beehives, and it was bad. So I went with the most logical solution, which is we had a medium-sized world, and that wasn't big enough. So I just took the entire medium-sized world and then just pasted it into a large world. That's pretty genius, right? And now we just have a bigger world. We got all this extra space to work with. And hopefully that's going to be enough to kill the wall of flesh. The old world was C, and now we have the bigger one, C. Okay. Oh, I need a builder potion. Damn. Hold on. Forgot about my builder potion. I also removed the lights from these houses because if we are having problems with the NPC limit, then if we have fewer friendly NPCs spawned in the world, that should, in theory, let us spawn more bees, right? I think that logic checks out. Do you have 2 underworlds? No, I didn't copy and paste the underworld in. Most scuffed world you've ever seen? Have you watched me play multiplayer? Actually, that's a good idea for the next time I do a multiplayer world. Take a large world, then copy and paste a medium world into it, then copy and paste a small world into that. How come the Hell Bridge is still there? Because I copy and pasted the Hell Bridge in. Alright. This is going to take a sec. We're just going to run over there. I also went ahead and grabbed a bunch of bees. I also replaced the ceiling with just the ash block so we wouldn't have to deal with the grass. I would like to kill the wall of flesh. I'm using bee gun? No, I'm using bees. The challenge is supposed to be queen bee only, but because the wall of flesh is a pain in the ass, it's not actually possible to use queen bee to kill the wall of flesh. She doesn't enrage properly in the underworld, which means she doesn't spawn enough bees to really take him on, and she just dies. she runs into the wall of flesh, and it does way more damage to her than she does to it. And you can't resummon Queen Bee during the wall of flesh fight, because the jungle can't exist in the underworld. You need to be in the jungle to summon Queen Bee. I guess maybe if you were in multiplayer, you could have a second player summon Queen Bee, and then get killed and have her go down to the underworld, but that seems like a huge headache, and the multiplayer HP scaling would be too much to deal with unless you were on Classic. But maybe if you were on Classic, you could work that out. What exactly did you miss? Trying to fight the wall of flesh, it not going well. Used to be horrified of the wall of flesh when you were younger, so much you wouldn't even fight it without someone else beside you. You eagerly await the bees soon to be released upon the wall of flesh. Yeah, this is about as much as I could do as far as bees. Okay. I'm gonna set my spawn here. Go away. Yeah, we've got the large... It gives us an extra 2,000 blocks to work with, I think. Right, because a medium world's 6,000 blocks, a large world's 8,000 blocks. And we kept getting the wall of flesh down to like 1,000 HP. So hopefully, this will be just big enough for us to get what we need. And we can summon a Queen Bee to come down during the fight. Might give us a burst of HP in the middle of the fight. Oh, I guess I generated this as a Crimson World. Okay, well, we have both Crimson and Corruption now. That's fine. The stream's having a couple frame drops here and there. I've tried both YouTube servers. Neither one seems to solve that. I'm not 100% sure why it's happening. It might just be something on my end. But hopefully it's not too bad. Okay. Everything's set. Have all our potions. Let's go. We don't have parts, unfortunately. Which is going to make this a little bit awkward. Okay, Queen Bee survived. God, what is the stream doing with these frame drops? Hold on. It looks really bad right now. Okay. It looks better now. Guys, it's not a crash. What the hell is going on? I don't know if it's on my end or YouTube's end, but I'm just getting periodic frame drops regardless of the server that I'm on. I could lower the quality and the bit rate, which maybe would help, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't been having internet issues for quite a while. I imagine it's on YouTube's end, but I'm not really sure. I'm going to try lowering the quality to like 720 and lower the bit rate, and maybe that'll help. We're dropping like 10% of our frames, which is really bad. So stream's gonna go off for a little bit, and we're gonna try again on 720p. So give it like 20 seconds, it'll buffer for a minute there. Okay, let's see if switching to 720. Are you guys deaf? I told you the stream's gonna go offline for a minute, so I can lower the quality to see if that helps. I said that verbally multiple times. Hopefully this will be less bandwidth intensive and will stream fine. I'm gonna let it play for a minute or so and see if that works. And it looks to be working fine. So maybe we'll just have to do a stream at 720p today. It seems to be stable at 5,000 bit rate. Okay. We'll try that then. Am I DDoSing the wall? I wish. It deserves it. Okay. You can see Queen Bee does not win in the sustained fight against the Wall of Flesh. She is getting shredded right now, and we can't get her back once she goes. She did do a pretty good job at taking care of the hungry, though. Wall of Flesh is about half dead. But the problem is this is the easy part of the fight. Damn. I was too close to the hungry, though. It's really unfortunate. It's going to be hard to recover that HP. I need these hungry here to die. I need to get in a spot where I can kill them. Hopefully here. Come on, get the hungry. And the leeches, too. Okay, that's most of the hungry. I've recovered a lot of the HP. I want these leeches dead. Go left, please. No, we're going right. I'm pretty sure the leeches eat up spawn slots, which makes it difficult for us to spawn more bees past a certain point. Okay, well, it's down to 3,000. The problem is, as he gets lower on HP, it gets astronomically more difficult for us to deal damage to him. So it might look good right now, but we've got a long way to go. Oh, this is bad. Okay. I got iframes from the leeches, thankfully. I need these leeches taken care of. There's too many of them. Trying to spawn something to take out the leeches, but the problem is they're like the same speed as me, and I have to. There's a delay for the bees spawning, which makes it really difficult unless the beehives go left, and even then it's toss-up. Okay, 2,000 HP left. Okay, hopefully this will do it. Got a lot of them. Come on, one more hungry. I do think left is the best direction to go in. We're getting there. 1,000 left. Oh, 1,300 really. It's getting a lot harder to sustain though. Last 1,000. It's gonna really start speeding up here, though. And it's the hungry that I'm most concerned about. Man, those lasers are brutal. We're gonna die to lasers. Yeah. Very close. Definitely doable. Definitely doable. Let's see how much more space we had there. Yeah, that's definitely doable with how much space we have. I need the guy to respawn. Might be worth getting Frostpoke and using ice. Okay. 1, ice does not affect your speed. 2, we have Frostpoke boots. 3, we have ice. Every part of that sentence was wrong. The bees get stuck chasing the wall from behind once it gets faster? No, I mean, we were dealing damage fine. Dune Rider and Sand? I don't think Dune Rider and Sand is going to help very much. Let me get another sonar potion. I'm going to get some more endurance potions. There any viable mounts for this? So it'll be easier this time around. Because now that we fought the Wall of Flesh, there are going to be houts dropped on the path behind us that we will pick up as we run throughout the fight, which means we're going to have a much easier time staying alive, which is the main problem that we had there. So, we should get it this time. What about a minecart track? No, we don't need to. That's unnecessary. Dune Rider and Sand? That really wouldn't help much. Not only that, it would be an incredible time investment. Guys, we got the Wall of Flesh down to 600 HP. He's basically dead. I don't need to spend 2 hours redoing my entire arena for something we can do without it. Use T-edit? I would never. I have integrity. I would never touch T-edit with a 10-foot pole. Okay, I need the guide to respawn. Oh, he's back. Okay. Yeah, you see all these houts we've got now? Littered throughout the place? It'll probably be more pronounced more to the right because we were having more bees spawn back then, but... Just then there's a flask of nanites. Yeah, I mean, it's not very good, in most situations because confusion's not a fantastic debuff. It's good in some situations. But does the running direction matter? I mean, the bridge is built for me to run right to left and not left to right. I'd have to do a lot more jumping if I was doing left to right. If that's the question. Yeah, you see all these houts? This will make it much easier for us to sustain. What about setting up bees drops beforehand and triggering them? I mean, that doesn't really... How would that help? we drop bees at light speed anyway. In order to drop the bees, I'd have to attack them, which I can't really do. Or I'd have to hit them with a grappling hook, which it would be a very minuscule amount of bees, and I really do that when I spawn bees anyway. Yeah, they're candy apples, because it's Halloween. Is Builder Potion meta for this playthrough? It is not a 25% DPS increase, Daniel. Not by any means. It does increase the speed that my bees drop. However, for the vast majority of bosses, I am not using beehives. The Wall of Flesh, I specifically have to, and I might need to for the mech bosses too. Also, bees give iframes, and without a Builder Potion, you spawn enough bees that you would be permanently iframing the enemy anyway. So it doesn't really help much in terms of your overall damage output. However, because the Wall of Flesh is constantly moving, and there are just a lot of enemies soaking up bees during this fight, it does help us. Because we need to be on the move and constantly respawn bees in order to deal damage. But for most situations, it wouldn't be that helpful. In fact, it would probably lead to inefficiency with bees, because you reach an NPC limit pretty quickly. Bees and queen bees share iframes? They do. They do. Okay. I'm out of blocks. Hold on. Bed down. Guide in here. What time is it? 3 p.m. Okay. Sleep till nighttime. We set up a bee nuke at the start of the fight. Yeah, I can. Now that I have this set up in this way, I can do it relatively conveniently. Yo, Batman. I love how the background speed of things scale based on when you're sleeping. Okay. Get these ash blocks. Put them here. We're gonna go get another queen bee. Wall of Flesh is gonna move in. Or the guide's gonna move in. Summon queen bee, teleport down, spawn as many bees as I can in a brief period of time. And hope that this works out again. I mean, 600 HP is a good amount of HP to get the Wall of Flesh down. We've been getting him lower and lower each time. It would technically be possible for me to increase my speed using shadow armor, but we really want to front-load our DPS here. We have pouts we can pick up, so we can afford to tank some damage here. Alright, can be moving in. Doing a really effective job here. Queen Bee is getting destroyed, though. The Hungry really ripped through Queen Bee. But we're also ripping through the Hungry because of Queen Bee, so works both ways. Hopefully we can keep the Hungry destroyed, but they respawn pretty quickly. We're doing too much damage for us to sustain nearby now. We gotta make more distance. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not possible to respawn Queen Bee during the fight. She dies very quickly, and we can't get more because the, you can't have a jungle in the underworld. I need a jungle to spawn Queen Bee. Okay, Wild Flesh is halfway dead. Still at full HP. Gotta keep away from these hungry. Or to take a few of the flying hungry. They don't scale damage. Attack the wall, please. Yep. We're getting somewhere. 4,000. I lingered a little bit too long. Some honey. Gotta get rid of these hungry. Ideally, the leeches, too. 3,000. Taking a bit of damage. Need a spot. Here should look. Ah, that'll hit the wall. Got a couple of leeches. Okay, this should do it. Just my grapple. Okay, 2,000. God, the hungry snatched me. Scratched me. Keep saying snatched. Okay, please kill all the leeches. Okay, we got a lot of them. Okay, 1,000 left. We're in a much better position than we were last time, but we're probably going to be reaching the point where we run out of hearts to pick up soon. But we're at full HP right now. Hopefully this will be enough to carry us through the rest of the fight. I gotta make sure I stay far enough away that these hungry can't touch me. I need my bees to go left. I think if they go right, they're too slow. Let's spam down in both directions. I was hoping that would do something. Okay, sub 1,000. Here. Getting in very small amounts of damage on the wall of flesh. Up here. God, he deals so much damage. I gotta break line of sight and just hope the bees will take care of it. about to move up to max speed, though. And I don't know if I can sustain that. Can't break line of sight here. Okay, max speed. Oh god, he's the same speed as me, basically. I don't know if I can do this. He's slowly gaining on me. I need to be able to place bees down here. Okay. I need some way that I can... But that wouldn't work is the problem. Like, that doesn't work. I can't have a layer above me to put bees down on, because then the bees will break where I am and the wall of flesh isn't there. I feel like the edge of the world, too. Maybe a queen right at the end? That's not possible. I cannot summon queen bee during the fight. They not go on platforms? I don't think you can put them on platforms. Yeah, you can't put them on platforms. Make a platform under? That doesn't... The wall of flesh isn't under, though, is the problem. I mean, I can... Hammered platforms work? Or don't work? They wouldn't help. Alternated place blocks and not having place blocks? Maybe. I have the guide back yet? Make these houses valid. Do they fall through any blocks that you stand on? Not to my knowledge. Hoiks would not help. Minecart at the end? Minecarts would not help. Panic necklace could help. I guess. I don't know how much it would help, though. Asphalt's not possible. Dune Riders are inconvenient because they stop working when you jump. I'm not going to use the golf cart. I think Panic Necklace is probably the way to go. Sunflowers would not help. Sunflowers don't affect your maximum running speed. Shield of Cthulhu would not help at all. Ever. Yeah, I'll go get a Panic Necklace. And then we swap out... Worm Scout late in the fight? I don't want to do that, though. Maybe Bazoar. Minecart tracks would not help. I am not going to put down minecart tracks. Stop suggesting. I would like to use the Phoenix Blaster. That'd be really nice. I'm not going to reforge for movement speed. It's doable. It's just going to be really tricky. Because it's really just the last 500 HP. I think at the end of the place, I'm gonna make a little flat area that I can just run straight down, and spawn bees, because it's just a raw DPS test at that point. I need to out DPS the Wall of Flesh. No, we're not in hard mode. Necklace. Yeah, near the end of the fight, I don't see any way around that dark portal. He's not quite the same speed. He's slightly faster than my running speed, but slightly slower than my jumping and grappling speed. But the problem is, the amount of time it takes to make any kind of distance between the two of us just isn't conducive to being able to deal damage. There's a panic necklace. Yeah, but that doesn't help me. Figurative Swan. It's not speed that's the problem. I can very easily outspeed the Wall of Flesh. It's being able to outspeed him and put things down that's the problem, because I need to be able to place blocks. Or place beehives. Got these potions. Those were good. I ran out of my endurance potions and builder. And also heart reach. I'd have more heart reach. That's fine. Am I out of blink root? No, I'm out of the other builder potion ingredient. That's fine. A water leaf. Water leaf. Okay, we'll do it without the endurance then. That's fine. No, we're not going to use the honeycomb. Let me get some more blocks. Talking about the sweetheart necklace? I know. I'm not going to use the honeycomb, though. I know what the sweetheart necklace is. I'm not going to use it. That's not what the challenge is. We're only using the hostile bees. Like, if I wanted to use friendly bees, I would just use a bee gun, or bee nades, or the bee's knees, or the beekeeper, and the fight would be a lot easier. But that's not the point of what we're doing, you know? You pre-placed all the... No, that's way too much work. Hand of Creation also boosts beehive placing speed? Probably, but beehive placing speed is not the problem. We don't need to place beehives faster. It's the beehive falling and breaking speed that's the issue here. A player having 5 base max HP, but only taking 1 damage per hit with flat regen bonus. This band is fair. I don't know. What's the condition for beehives to break? They need to hit they're like boulders. The situations where boulders break is a good example. No. It wouldn't cookie clicker because there's an NPC cap limit. Okay, we're gonna go from here. This should be good. Like, if I place more than 5 beehives late in the fight, the last 5 beehives don't do anything. It doesn't help to have a faster placement speed. We're placing like 10 beehives at a time anyway, most of them aren't even doing anything. It's just how beehives work. I don't need accurate, like, this will work. We don't need to do something that's more complicated. This is fine. I get the urge to, you know, give suggestions or whatever, but I don't need them. We have a strategy that'll work perfectly fine. Yeah, the idea is to spend as little time as necessary prepping for this, not as most as possible. And making a giant line of actuators, I don't even have the mechanic. That would take ages. We'd have to go find the mechanic, which is not going to be easy when we have nowhere to kill things in the dungeon. We need to buy a bunch of actuators, which I do not have the money for, along with a bunch of wire. We need to set up a system to organize all of it. We need to pre-place all of the beehives. Like, that's not a good idea. I really want these bats out of the way. What's gonna happen though? I should really despawn them. Gravitation potion? No, I mean, yes, that could work in this late part of the fight when we have the flat ceiling here, but in this part of the fight, it would just be more disorienting than anything else, I think. Beehives break here? No. Yeah, up until Wall, it hasn't been bad. The only problem with the Wall of Flesh is that we can't resummon Queen Bee during the fight. If we could resummon Queen Bee, this wouldn't be bad at all, along with if she actually enraged. If we had Queen Bee near the end of the fight, we could easily burst down the Wall's last bit of HP with Queen Bee, but we can't. Which really puts a dent in things. One of the most important things is to keep your distance. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that. The problem is the Wall of Flesh is extremely fast as he gets low on HP. I mean, there's only so much distance keeping I can do. At a certain point, it just becomes untenable. A timer that will set up and break a Lova near the end of the fight. I don't have a Lova to break. This is the wrong side of the world for the jungle. And Lovas only spawn Queen Bee if you're near them. I would need to have a Lova that's right next to the underworld. And I mean right next to the underworld. Which is just not going to happen near the end of the fight. There's no bees over there. Or there's no jungle over there. Yes, I have magic luminescence. Wouldn't be trying this without it. Sorry, like I said, I don't need... We're good. We don't need to do a bunch of brainstorming. We have the solution. I would say Magiluminescence is better than Fishron Wings. Relative to when... Like, relative to the use cases of the item. And how useful it is compared to other accessories. Like, Fishron Wings are fine. If you get them early in the game, yeah, they're really good. But, I mean, you also get Fishron's Mount, which is incredibly good. It's not like they're, for post-Golem, particularly good. And it's also kind of a pain to get Fishron Wings. I mean, they're 1 in 10 drop. And they're not really that much... Like, you don't need Fishron Wings to do anything. They're kind of just nice to have. And sure, they are good wings, don't get me wrong. But Magiluminescence is incredibly easy to make. Fits into basically every build. Can be obtained extremely early in the game and is a phenomenal mobility boost. I think it is a more useful accessory than Fishron Wings are. No, I don't think it holds a candle to the Soaring Insignia. I think if I were picking a better accessory, I'd pick that one. Soaring Insignia has a lot of the same arguments going for it. It's very consistently obtainable. It goes into every build and gives you a phenomenal, unparalleled mobility boost. But the Soaring Insignia is a lot better. Hopefully by this point we'll have the Wall of Flesh to a low enough HP that we can just be in here and kill him. I think I will pre-place beehives in this specific location. Because I can really only break beehive by placing another beehive. Which, if I don't have the beehives already placed, we may just end up placing them in a straight line and then not being able to break them. So I think we'll pre-place hives here. We... If your credit card number was a phone number, what would it be? 4. I feel like Queen Bee would help a lot in the last stage of the fight. Okay. While I understand what you're saying, have you been listening to any part of the last half hour where I've said probably 6 times it is not possible for me to summon Queen Bee outside of the beginning of the fight? I can't do that. It's not possible. I would need to have a second player in the world in the jungle. And then doing that would give the Wall of Flesh thousands more HP. Like, it's... We can't do that. I can't use Queen Bee when the Wall of Flesh is near dead. It would be near dead. It would be great. I would love it. It's not possible. Flavor of ice cream am I? I like cotton candy ice cream. I feel it looks good. Tastes pretty good. Kind of depends on the mood I'm in though. You know, sometimes you kind of got a cotton candy vibe. Sometimes you just want vanilla. Sometimes you want something like caramelly or chocolatey, you know. It varies. Yeah, like, even if we could summon Queen Bee. Can't find any speed accessories on the wiki outside of the boots and Magiluminescence. Panic Necklace, Anklet of the Wind, Aglet. I suppose you could call, the Celestial Stone and Celestial Shell speed accessories. They do give you movement speed. Question is this long enough? Really not sure. You got bubblegum ice cream here, and it's emasculating? What? Do you mean immaculate? Or does it make you feel... emasculated when you eat bubblegum ice cream? Is it just the existence of the color pink? Pink is a fire color, it's so good. Orange and red are typically the fire colors, but I could see pink fire. Red is your favorite color? I mean, red's a solid color. It's not a bad color, you know. Here's what I'll do. I'll make little gaps above each one of the things here so the bees can hopefully find their way out. After they break. I feel like this is probably enough space. We only have like 500 HP to deal with, right? I mean... If I could be an animal, which one would I be? Do I have to? Like, do I get to turn back, or do I just have to be an animal the whole time? Because if I have to be an animal the whole time, I would kind of suck. Just turning into an animal but not being able to turn back. Get to be an animal forever. I'd like to decline the offer. Which shark, Cramslaw? Pick one. I think a sea creature or a Boyd? I mean, Boyds are pretty cool. They're pretty intelligent, too. Yo, is that the slug cat from Rainworld? Or are you the slug cat from Rain Escape? I need to know because that's going to influence my opinion of you. You're a generic slug cat? What, you like the Walmart brand slug cat? Are you even allowed to call yourself a slug cat? What's the price difference between you and the Rainworld slug cat? $39.95? That's a pretty good discount. What's the difference between you and the name brand slug cat? Just trying to influence my purchasing decision, you know? I mean, like, in most situations, I wouldn't go for the Temu slug cat, but... You know, if it's a lot cheaper, and I'm not going to get cancer from it, I might consider it. I mean, at a certain point, I might consider it, even if I am going to get cancer. I mean, if it's cheap enough, then the cancer treatment might be better than the price I save. You know, it's like getting asbestos insulation for your house. I mean, if you save a lot of money on the house, then it's kind of worth it. Would you rather have a slug cat or no slug cat? Which slug cat? Survivor? Monk? Artificer? Mike? I could devour Mike. I would fucking love to have Mike. Okay. I think we're... Alright, I'm supposed to put these queen bee relics down here. Mike the slug cat. You guys know Mike. Come on, don't play. Okay, An endurance potion would be cool, but I'm out of water leaf. It's fine, we'll just go without it. The guide back. I guess I just try again, and hopefully this time the, this will carry us to victory. Yeah, we still got the Shimmer Llama. There's the guide. I need it to be nighttime to move in. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'll go get Water Leaf and fish up an endurance potion. Is it Ghost of a hardcore player? Does it cause the boss spawn to have increased HP? I don't think so, but I'm not certain. Finished Rain World in 17 grueling hours and the cannot even think about it anymore without having a traumatic experience. It was one of the worst things I've ever experienced in your life. Why? Yeah, I like Rain World. Would you want $300,000 a year but not be able to leave the boundaries of whichever place you're renting / bought? I mean, that's very similar to how I live normally anyway. I do have Water Leaf. Oh, I ran out of coral. I ran out of coral. I'll leave my house sometimes, but like, if I'm getting paid $300,000 a year, I could, I'm sure I could be content with doing that for a year. Or am I carrying 2 magic mirrors? 1 for each hand. I don't want to get left behind. So I have an even more convoluted and overly complicated way of spawning Queen Bee, which is having a ghost of a hardcore player open a door directly next to lava to break it. Can ghosts open doors? I thought they just went through blocks. They can't open doors? That's interesting. It's a lifetime kind of deal. I mean, what if you just don't? I mean, what? They're going to pay you $300,000 a year to not leave your house. What if you leave? Well, like, they already paid you money. Police will, like, brutalize you. Move to a different country. You got, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Get a visa. Immigrate to somewhere else. I get my cave fish already? I don't know, I assume all the people that are constantly talking about Geometry Dash are the same people who watch Family Guy clips and Subway Surfers gameplay on the side of every video due to a lack of attention span. I just feel like it comes with the territory. Okay. This time. This time surely we'll kill the wall of flesh. Look, you can stop spamming about Geometry Dash now. I don't care. Okay. Beehives. A beamination. Queen bee. Home. Spawn. Underworld. Prepare beehives. Prepare beehives. I mean, if you don't stop, then I will ban you. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. It takes me like 3 seconds. Why don't you guys talk about something that isn't like brain rot? You're a girl? So? Mango? Mangoes are pretty cool. You know, honestly, I'm not the biggest mango fan, but of the tropical fruit, mango is probably my favorite. I don't like coconuts. I'm really not a fan of coconut flavor, and I don't really like pineapple either. Mango, you know, isn't incredible, but I can live with mangoes. Tried Monster Hunter before? Yeah, I've played Monster Hunter World. I got through the base game and did a good chunk of the Iceborne DLC, and then kind of got bored. I feel like with Monster Hunter, you kind of reach a point where it gets kind of repetitive. It happened for me after, I don't actually know how many hours. A lot of hours, where I just kind of got bored hunting the monsters. Ricky? Seeing Vicky reminds me, I went to this owl cafe when I was in Japan called Ricky. It was in Sendai. And man, animal cafes are depressing if you actually care about animals. Don't go to animal cafes except for maybe like cat cafes if you're in Japan and you actually care about animals. The owls were just, like, tied up to a piece of wood that they couldn't leave. All the other animals were just in, like, really sparse and poorly decorated cages. The animals were all very clearly unhappy. The birds were fighting each other whenever they got taken out. In general, Japan really doesn't seem to care very much about animal welfare. Aside from certain animals like cats or deer that they care about. There's a lot of like animal mistreatment, and it's kind of just depressing. And I would really not recommend going to any animal cafes or really animal-based attractions in Japan. With the possible exceptions of like cat or deer-based things or stuff that is actually revered to an extent and are treated better. Like, cat cafes, I think are probably fine. But other animals are probably just going to be mistreated for the sake of your entertainment. I've heard the Fox Village. I didn't go there, but there's the Fox Village in Zhao. I've heard that's very similar. A lot of foxes just crammed in small cages that are very clearly unhappy and fight with each other. I've heard the zoos in Japan are pretty depressing. So yeah, if you go to Japan, the places might look cool on Instagram or YouTube. They're not. They're just sad. Any recommendation of where to go instead? I don't know. I mean, I only spent, you know, a little over a week in Japan. I didn't get to go to a lot of places. As far as animal-based attractions, I don't really know. I mean, I'm sure there are some businesses that treat their animals well, but the problem is with things like birds and reptiles and stuff like that, treating them well is not really going to be having them just be out in the open and having a bunch of people randomly come in and handle them and touch them and whatever. I think that concept is kind of incongruous with animal welfare for a lot of animals, especially reptiles. Yeah, it's very easy to make those animal cafes look cool on Instagram or whatever, because you just ignore all the uncomfortable and like abusive behavior. Don't I have a reptile? Yeah, I have a gecko. And I tend to not handle her very much because reptiles often don't like being handled. At least mine doesn't. She'll tolerate it sometime, but she certainly doesn't like it. Okay. Let's head down to the underworld. Set our spawn, move the guide back in, and get ready to do this again. Yeah, I've a lot of pictures and videos of my gecko floating around. Yeah, it felt to me when I was in Japan that a lot of animals were treated more as tools for either entertainment or food, with some being respected enough to avoid that role, but it felt like there was a very different feeling of how animals should be treated, with the places I had gone to and the things I had heard about. But again, they might have just been places that I had been to that were particularly bad, and there are some that are better. I can't really say for sure. Don't sheep now need to be sheared or something so their coats don't grow ridiculously large and unbearable? Yeah, domesticated sheep, need to have their coats tended to, or else they would, grow too large, because, they were, selectively bred for their coat growing properties or whatever. There's a similar thing going on. It's not quite the same, but horses need to have their hooves tended to, because in the wild, horses would walk around a lot more and wear down the like keratin in their hooves or whatever. But domesticated horses tend to spend more time in stables and not walking around constantly, which leads to them growing, and they need to be tended to, or else they would start to hurt and be in pain. Yeah, a lot of pets, especially domesticated ones, well, I don't really know if there's any animal that has like negative impacts from human care. Because there are a lot of animals that will have diseases or treatable illnesses that vet care will help, and will help overall improve the quality of life or lifespan of the animal. Orcas and sharks. Yeah, I guess a lot of marine life, because it's difficult to actually provide them with good care. Pets count as chairs? Yeah. Pugs have been selectively altered to be unable to breathe. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about animals benefiting from veterinary care or treatments, not the process of domestication. Set my spawn, right? Oh, damn it, I've removed my spawn point. Because I already had it set. Hold on. You also don't need a crafting table for a valid spawn point? No, but I do need one to have the guide move into, which is the point of that down there, is the guide will move in and then we can drop him in lava to summon the wall of flesh. Opinion on the people of France? I don't really have a strong opinion on the people of France because I haven't been to France. I remember when I had a layover in Toronto, I went to this is Canada, but like it's similar enough, a Tim Hortons to get food for me and my siblings. And the lady there just had a very unfriendly attitude, which was in very stark contrast to the customer service in Japan, where they tend to be extraordinarily polite. She had a lot of sass and backtalk, and I was like, damn. So this is what ordering food in Canada is like. Do I tend to travel a lot? No. Issues I don't have as many hearts laid out. It'll be fine. Work with it. Prefer the Crimson or Corruption? I don't have a strong preference. They both have advantages and disadvantages. Depends how I'm feeling. Isn't tipping in Japan like frowned upon? It's not a thing culturally. You don't tip people. It's just kind of an awkward situation. I mean, it would be like somebody walking up to you and just trying to give you money. Which is kind of just weird if you don't have a culture of people doing that. When I started France, I started talking about Canada. I mean, they're similar. I don't really have experience with French people. I'm not European, but I do have experience with Canadian people. I am American. Okay. So I'm gonna be. France is cool. I remember I took French classes in high school. I remember like none of it. But I remember basically nobody took the French classes instead of the Spanish classes. I think French 3 had maybe like 4 people in it, and I think when I had signed up to do French 4, I was literally the only person in the class, and they just rolled it together with French 3. Wait. Oh, that was the jungle there. Why is the desert flooded? Huh? What are you talking about? What the hell are you guys talking about? Go, my bees. Defeat the meat. I just put a medium world in a big... I needed to make my medium world bigger. How would you suggest doing that besides just putting it in a bigger world? As far as I'm concerned, that was a beautifully elegant strategy. It was perfect. I want to beat this meat, but he's not making it easy. I said I wanted to defeat the wall of flesh. I think everyone here wants to beat this meat. How did it heal? It didn't heal. The boss health bar at the bottom was queen bees. You see, boss health bars adjust to the last one that you damaged, and they default to the first one that was spawned. And since we're not actually damaging them, the boss health bar is just displaying the first one that spawned, which was queen bee, until queen bee died, at which point it switched to the wall of flesh. Hopefully we kill these hungry here. Alright, 3,000. But this is the easy part of the fight anyway, as we've established. Ah, the hungry grabbed me. Okay. 3,000. Drink a healing potion. Try to split up my bees. Maybe that'll help us deal damage to the wall. I'd really like to get rid of these leeches. We're getting some of them, but not as many as I would like. There we go. 1,300. I think we're going to be coming up on the tunnel soon, hopefully. Not really sure, though. Damn it. So I'm going to spawn bees here. We just need to... It's breaking line of sight that's difficult here. Alright, 941. Let's do it here. Okay, we're almost down to 500. I really hope we get up to this tunnel soon. Probably need him to 500. Okay. Oh, what happened to the bees? What? No! Go, my bees! I can't place them because of the fucking leeches. Ah, the wall of flesh is too fast. I can't get my bees fast enough. Damn. I don't know what to do about that. Increase placement speed? I gotta watch that back. No, it's not a speed issue. Our speed is not the problem. The wall of flesh's speed is the problem. I gotta watch that back and see what exactly was happening with those bees. Could I shoot ahead? I could throw a grappling hook ahead, but... I gotta look at exactly what was happening to figure out what we need to do here. We're doing damage here. We stopped at like 170 something. I wasn't able to place things here because the leeches were in the way. This is where we stopped dealing damage. And the problem is, yeah, the hives just weren't breaking. Maybe if I were to just make it completely jagged, that would work. Let me try that. Get some more blocks. Yeah, clouds. Should do it. If you hammer the floor or something, no, we're gonna go over and practice. We'll see what we can do. So the platform shot when the speed is lower? No, it wouldn't matter. Because it's not the points before that matter. What matters is when we get down to that last 500 HP. That is the only part of the fight that matters. Making it go on for longer wouldn't help. Because that's not the part of the fight that we're having trouble with. And I don't think it would make us deal more damage when that point in time comes. I think if we were to do this the way that I'm thinking, we'd be able to instantly break the beehives, which should hopefully work. Somebody had mentioned shooting ahead. I can't shoot ahead because I can't shoot, right? Wire to remotely activate hives? I don't think that'll be necessary. It's not really placing hives or breaking hives that's the problem. It's the fact that the hives are not breaking immediately, and the wall of flesh is just outrunning them before they break. While yes, that would let me break them slightly ahead, I think as long as they break immediately on contact with the ground, it should be fine. And if what I think will works, then they should break immediately. Spending a lot of time running between placing the hives to extend the tunnel, you could do it further. Yeah, and I'd also spend way more time. Let's see if this works. Okay, it doesn't, but that just means we have to slightly change the spacing on things. If I were to instead, that breaks immediately. I think I want spacing like that. Okay, yeah. 2 blocks of nothing, then 1 block. I think that's our optimal block placement. And that should cause beehives to break pretty much instantly. Stray MC, do you think is the most useless? Santa Claus. I don't want to hit the bee with my pickaxe is the problem. But this bone serpent doesn't want to come up here. There we go. This is on master mode. Which I believe is the most effective difficulty to do this on, with the possible exception of classic. Master, I think, is certainly easier than expert, though. Yeah, see, that breaks immediately, which is what we want. Because the problem is they were spending all their time rolling instead of breaking. And honestly, these holes up here are useless. The bees don't have enough time to move anyway. They need to just immediately hit the wall of flesh's mouth that's chasing me. Spawn some bees to get rid of these guys. Get a golf cart if possible. It wouldn't help. Our speed is not the problem, and if it was, I could swap on the panic necklace. Yes, we died because the wall of flesh caught up to us there, but we would have died regardless of if we were faster. The problem is the bees were too slow, not that we were too slow. Bees get a damage increase in hard mode, and we'll find ways to make things work. It'll be fine. I'm not spacing these perfectly, but there's only so much I can do when I can't really use my pickaxe. It's a little bit hard to gauge the distance. Most of them are spaced correctly, though, and that's good enough. Oh, a magma stone. That's useless. Ooh, I don't want that lava slime to die. Ugh, that's annoying. Drain that. Fucking bee pickaxe. Hold on. Might be able to do this. Just have to recall. How did I get there? Oh, you have to go back. Any other games you enjoy playing? I mean, I enjoy playing plenty of games, but the reality of the situation is any game that I stream that's not Terraria will be wildly unpopular. I do stream other games from time to time. You can check my live streams to see what they are. I don't like the ruler. It would just slow things down. I'd rather eyeball the distances. Is it going to be the hardest boss? Probably. This is the only boss we can't use Queen Bee on, which is the premise of the challenge, is using Queen Bee, so... Where's my nickname come from? They rhyme. the woods. That's about it. Does Underworld Jungle really not count as jungle? Yeah. If it did, we'd be able to summon Queen Bee. Can't. Have you considered Deep Rock Galactic's Dreadnought mission with pickaxe only? I don't like Deep Rock Galactic. So no. See, the important part of that question was games that I like. I don't like Deep Rock Galactic. I found it to be very, very boring. Oh, isn't Factorio's DLC coming out, like, now? Did I see the Subnautica 2 trailer? No, but I had heard about it. I do wonder if Subnautica 2 will be good. I played the original Subnautica last year on stream. It was fun for a little bit, and then I felt like it kind of lost... I felt like the game was strongest when you were exploring, and I felt like after a certain point you kind of explored everything, and then it was just kind of fetching stuff, and it wasn't particularly fun, especially the end game. I do hope that Subnautica 2 goes in more of a survival direction, with more interesting game mechanics, because I felt like Subnautica 1, those mechanics were not very fun, and when the game ran out of its exploration side, you were kind of just left with an underwhelming survival game. Subnautica subs below zero was mid. Yeah, I've heard it was not as good as the original Subnautica. Have you played Satisfactory? No. I've played Factorio, and I mean, I wasn't really even that big of a fan of Factorio. I didn't really have much desire to play that many other Factory Sim games. Hopefully this will deal with all these random enemies. Honestly, this bridge is way longer than we need it to be. I mean, we had the Wall of Flesh down to... We pretty much reached it right as he hit 500 HP, and we died. Actually, we did die near the end of the bridge, but we were also not dealing damage for about half the bridge. I played Sex with Hitler 2? No, I played Sex with Hitler 1. It was not very good. Didn't particularly endear me to playing the sequel. Now, Femboy Bangers. That was a game that made me want to play the sequel. Sex with Hitler was peak? No, Sex with Hitler was not very good. Even as a meme game, it's pretty mid. It also felt, the whole time I was playing Sex with Hitler, it had this weird undertone of, it didn't feel like it was parodying Hitler to make fun of him. It felt more like it was glorifying Hitler. Like, it felt less like satire and more like, man, this guy thinks Hitler is cool. And maybe, I don't think it was a natively English game. It might have been a translation thing. It might have been a couple things. But it felt... there was some dialogue in there that was like, hold on, this guy just like Hitler? Is that why we're playing with Hitler as the protagonist and he's sleeping with all these attractive women? I mean, there were certainly parts that felt like satire and making fun of Hitler. But then there were also points that were like, this is really sucking Hitler's dick, in some cases literally. And the interesting thing we've done this stream, it's mostly just been trying to kill the wall of flesh. It's been a real headache. Not any as of now, potato guy. What's the challenge, though? Queen bee only, which is then rolled into just using bees because we can't actually use queen bee on the wall of flesh. Can you place beehives with smout cursor? No. I have to place each one manually. Fortunately. So I can just kind of... I probably don't need every single beehive location. So I can kind of just spam them like this, and this will probably work out fine. Yeah, with the distancing of the wall of flesh, I basically need the bees to immediately pop out and then immediately damage the eye or the mouth. I think this is enough distance. Is a new large world or still the medium one? Both. I mean, I think Queen Bee will get ripped to shreds by the Destroyer. But, we can just summon another Queen Bee. Like, that's the thing. For every other boss in the game, we can just summon another Queen Bee. Wouldn't placing them from the top be easier? It doesn't really make much of a difference to me. The Wall of Flesh is, I suspect, the only boss in the game who will actually be unable to get Queen Bee reinforcements. Which I was not expecting. I really had no idea you couldn't summon Queen Bee in the Underworld. You summon multiple Queen Bee without larva? No. And summoning multiple Queen Bees really didn't help because, again, they just kind of died. And then just killed me because they actually do a not insignificant amount of damage. anything queen bee related is not particularly helpful. We can summon queen bee at the beginning of the fight, and she gives us a little bit of an edge. Particularly with dealing with the hungry. But as soon as she dies, and she dies very quickly, before the wall even hits half HP, we're on our own. Okay, I think this is good. I think this will be enough for the wall. Yeah, you can only summon one at a time with the Beam Emanations. Let's get more endurance potions. What did Vexcor say? Wanna use summons to kill the bees? Yeah, it's not the challenge. I mean, the challenge is using Queen Bee. Queen Bee summons bees. Beehives are at least kind of the same thing. And we got really close. The Wall of Flesh was at, what, 172 HP? Like, this will work. It's just gonna be really annoying getting there. 152? Yeah. That's like... I think the bees do like 30 damage a hit. That's like 5 bees. Maybe 6 with defense. It's just we reached a point where he literally wasn't... No bees were hitting him. I need to do optional bosses in Hardmode. Depends how good our bee damage is. I mean, bees do... I think their first damage increase brings them to what? Like an average of 90 damage on Master Mode? And the second one goes a bit higher. I don't remember exactly what it averages out to. I think bees can hit twice per second, so our DPS in Hardmode is probably going to be in the ballpark of 100 to 150 until doing Plantera. Oh, another quest fish. Which should be enough for the mech bosses. Pretty sure. Plantera's not a time boss. Duke Fishron's not a time boss. No way in hell we'd kill the Empress of Light by the end of the night. I guess we could technically do Enraged, but yeah. Queen Slime, I just don't have much reason to fight. One more K-Fish. Bees will shred Destroyer. They should be pretty effective against the Destroyer. I'm not sure if I'll really be able to use Beehives at all, though. We'll probably just have to rely on Queen Bee, though. Because if there's an NPC limit where bees will no longer be able to spawn, the Destroyer takes up a ton of NPC slots. It's 80 at base, plus whatever his probes do. So we'll probably just have to rely on Queen Bee, which should be fine, because... Can you stop fishing up dirt fish? Put the next one in my inventory, so it stops fishing them up. Okay. And it did... There we go. Give me the dirt fish, whatever. Okay. Coral in here, whatever. Sell the goodie bag. Sell the magma stone. Put the Quofi here. Down 2 more Queen Bee relics. Okay. Go set our spawn in the underworld. How much longer will the stream be? I don't entirely have plans right now. I mean, I want to kill the wall of flesh. You beat the wall this time, getting Arby's? Okay, I won't let you down. No, I mean, I would say Terraria is finished. But just because it's finished doesn't mean you can't add more to it. Like, Terraria is a full finished game, and I think in pretty much all of the large updates that have been added, Terraria has still been a full finished game. Like at the end of 1.0, Terraria was a finished game. It went up to Skeletron, and everything had a purpose. Things were balanced. Then in 1.1, you just shifted that to the mech bosses. 1.2, you shifted that to Plantera and then Golem. 1.3, you shifted that to the Moon Lord, and then it was really a complete game because it had an ending. Then 1.4, you just added more stuff. 1.4.4, you added more stuff. 1.4.5, you're gonna add more stuff. It's complete, but you can always find more stuff to add. What's your favorite removed boss? I don't really consider Terraria to have any removed bosses. The only bosses that Terraria has had removed were the, like, console and mobile exclusive ones, which, one, I never fought because I never played on console and mobile, and two, sucked, as far as I'm aware. So none of them are my favorite. They were weird knockoff bosses that only existed in the console and mobile versions. Akram was literally just an Eye of Cthulhu AI clone. Yeah, and there's no point in time in which something that follows the Eye of Cthulhu or Twins AI would be deemed a good boss in a non-typical Terraria context. None whatsoever. That'd be completely ridiculous. You wouldn't just take the Eye of Cthulhu's AI and then give it to some other boss. You have so much Dragon Titan and Mystic armors. Lepus was game design crime. Lepus does not look like it should be a Terraria boss either. Okay, move the Jitty in here. It had King Slime AI, but it could spawn itself as a minion. Isn't that basically what King Slime does? I mean, just conceptually. Like, I get it, rabbits have sex or whatever. Cool. But, I mean, King Slime is basically something with King Slime AI that, spawns miniature versions of itself. Akram was actually the precursor to the Empress of Light to actually share a lot of code. Somehow I doubt that. Somehow I doubt that. How hard would it to be Path of Pain on a dance pad? Very. Okay. Let's go summon Queen Bee again, and this time will be different. How do you know I'm not on a dance pad right now? I'm playing the game well. I mean, I think 1.3 adding an actual ending to the game is probably the most definitive point where you could say the game is finished, because generally when games have endings, that's... you'd say they're finished, yeah? Okay, we've got a friend. The alliance of bee and man has begun. This is just like the Lord of the Rings. Okay, the alliance of bee and man is over. Man, she died fast there. Wall isn't even at, last time she died around me was at 6,000 or something. Round about there. Bees hungry, please. One's chasing me. Come on, bees. We gotta make distance. Deal with these hungry. Kill the hungry. Kill the hungry. The hungry. The hungry? No. Come on, my bees. The random 2 hungry. It's almost, he's got like 1 hit point. There we go. Okay. Those actual hungry do so much damage. Ice really threw me off there. Okay, hungry down? Oh, not quite. Oh no, this is bad. Got caught in a tough place there. A beehive blocks off the table? I mean, what would I do with beehive blocks? How would I break them? Explosives? That seems like a really difficult thing to engineer. I feel like we're doing damage slower this time. Oh, because I didn't bring a builder potion. That's why. That would make sense. That checks out. It's fine. If I couldn't defeat him without the builder potion, then I didn't deserve to have it in the first place. We're gonna be reaching the thing soon. I'm gonna try to just hold out for okay. Go, my bees. Come on, bees. What are you doing? Okay, okay, okay. We're done. We're done. He's dead. He's dead. We finished. Wall of Flesh, Hardmode, done. Okay. See? I told you we didn't need a builder potion. It only took... It took more of a large world than it did beating the Wall of Flesh with a lawnmower. Although, granted, the lawnmower was on Classic, and this was... okay, I need to move my Joblin back down to this mushroom pylon. How many tries? 10? Maybe? I don't know, dude. Too many. Oh, bees are buffed now. We now do, like, 3 times as much damage without bees? A lot. It's a lot. Jan? Isn't Jan a girl's name? Let's show up with Janet. Okay, so we're going to... If you could rule the Hungry out of that fight, it'd be a lot easier. Yeah. The Hungry were not making it easy on me. I want to mine for Hardmode. It's a very popular guy name in the Netherlands. The Tinkerer. Yeah. And then Batman. Okay, well, we'll just wait till nighttime. Yeah, the Goblin Tinkler. That's his name. Wait, that's Wall of Flesh. That's queen bee. Okay, we're up an accessory slot. I guess I'll put the band of regen in there for now. I don't know. Useless, useless. Another queen bee trophy. Continue to Moonlord. I intend for it to. Now, we did have that much trouble with the Wall of Flesh. Whether or not the rest of the bosses are going to be that difficult, I don't know. Yeah, let me sleep till nighttime so we can go buy stuff from the... Actually, let me break altars. That would be a good idea. How many stingers do I have? Okay. We're going to have to go on some stinger quests. I probably should have gone in pre-hard mode now that I think about it, but whatever. Does a putrid scent make you less likely to get aggroed by bees? I think it would, yeah. It would consider you to be further away from the bees than you are. However, we are now in a crimson world. Wait, I just walked past the thing. Yeah, I think putrid scent would make you less likely to be aggroed by bees. Aggro in single player causes enemies to treat you as if you are further away from them than you actually are, or closer than you actually are. So I think putrid scent would cause bees to aggro to other enemies instead of you, because with the distance calculations, it would consider them to be closer than you are. However, we are now on a crimson world because I generated this as a crimson world because I wasn't really thinking about it. And Flesh Knuckles do exist. Flesh Knuckles will do the opposite. Whether that's worth the trade-off, I'm not sure. Okay, so we got... I mean, we're probably going to be going for Adamantite, realistically. And just shimmer the titanium down. Which should be easy enough. We have pretty good mining speed. We have Spelunker potions. We don't have mining potions, but... we'll make it work. How to get Steampunker to fall for you? I would suggest breaking the blocks underneath her. You can also use actuators. 8 defense isn't that beneficial when you can get stuff like Arc Charm, Hollowed Armor, and Frozen Turtle Shell. I don't know what you're talking about, Ralsuo. 1, it's not 8 defense. It's 26 defense. Because you have the Flesh Knuckles, the Berserker's Glove, and the Hero Shield. 2, yes, it absolutely is. The Flesh Knuckles are a crazy good accessory. We have Cake? No, I haven't had the Party Girl show up. There was another crimson on this side of the world. Just break some altars down here. Frozen Turtle Shell isn't that good. Frozen Turtle Shell is a bad accessory. Frozen Shield is a good accessory because it slaps on a beneficial effect to an already good accessory, the Paladin Shield. When you're making a good accessory better, that's good. On its own, having the damage 25% damage reduction below 50% HP is not that good. It only benefits you when you're already close to dying. Most of the time, it's going to do nothing for you. And even then, 25% damage reduction, I mean, consider that to a Worm Scarf. A Worm Scarf is 17% damage reduction, and it applies all the time. Brain of Confusion has a similar effect. Okay, good with that. Okay, let's sleep to get the Goblin Tinkler to be better. Move him in. He doesn't like the jungle, so his prices are going to be really bad right now. I want to get a speed buff for my Molten Pickaxe for mining Cobalt. That 25% is additive, so stacking damage reduction is huge. The 25% is additive, but it's not phenomenally effective because the most you can stack additive damage reduction to is 47%? No, 52%. 17 from Worm Scarf, 10 from Endurance Potion, 25 from Frozen Turtle Shell. And sure, that'll half the damage you take after defense. But consider instead having enough defense to reduce that damage anyway. Like, with particularly high damage attacks, yes, it can be beneficial, but remember, the primary source of damage we're going to be taking here is from bees. That's the biggest threat throughout the game, is the bees. The damage the bees are going to be doing to me. And damage reduction never reduces damage to 1. It's most beneficial when you're taking a couple high damage attacks, and that's not going to be happening to us. We're going to be taking a bunch of 90 to 120 damage hits, and defense is what's going to allow us to survive that consistently. Crimson is Ichor. Ichor is overrated. Plus, it's not that difficult to get in Corruption Worlds and Hardmode, seeing as you can just make artificial biomes. Ichor is very good for Summoner, and for other classes, it's alright, but I don't think it's really that phenomenal. You're doing 7 extra damage per hit. It's really nice as a synergy with Crystal Bullets, or for anything else that attacks very frequently for low damage. It's pretty shit for melee in most situations, because melee tends to have high damage individual attacks that don't happen as frequently. Would a defense accessory be better than no poison damage? I'd like to make an Ankh shield, if possible, to roll that into one. Poison immunity is very big, Dial, because poison nerfs your HP regeneration. Even if the 2 damage per second isn't that big of a deal, not regenerating HP normally can be pretty catastrophic. Let me go repair that house in the underworld just so we have a place for an NPC to live. Just so you watch the fight, goated. It was a hell of a fight. Oh, this also lets us see where the Crimson is. Looks like that's off to the right. Which means Corruption should be off to the left, which means our jungle probably got hit by a strip of Crimson. Which is better for melee and Summoner. Corruption has Band of Star Power and Putrid Scent for Ragers and Mages. The primary benefits of Corruption, 1, the armor set is better, in my opinion. Shadow Armor's speed buff is phenomenal. It's much better than Crimson's HP regeneration. It also gives you more damage than Crimson does. 2, I think the Musket's better than the Undertaker. And I also think the Vile Thorn is better than the Crimson Rod. 3, for Rangers, being in a Corruption world means you can get double scopes and a Destroyer emblem, and scopes are basically the best damage accessory in the game. If you're min-maxing a Ranger in late Hardmode, being on a Corruption world means you have easy access to getting that 3rd scope, which is going to be another 10% damage and crit. Band of Star Power also makes several mage accessories easier to craft. Although Band of Star Power and Panic Necklace can both be easily crafted with a Graveyard. If you take a Panic Necklace in a Graveyard with a Mana Crystal, that'll make a Band of Star Power. And if you take a Band of Star Power in a Graveyard with a Heart Crystal, that'll make a Panic Necklace. And as far as the hard mode chest items, Vampire Knives is much better for generic purposes and cheesing. The Scourge of the Corruptor is a better weapon, but Vampire Knives are kind of just extremely powerful as is. I think for mages, both hard mode mimics give you very, very good items. The Clinger Staff is phenomenal, and the Life Drain is also phenomenal. They're both really good items. For Rangers, personally, I'm a fan of the Dart Pistol with Ichor over the Dart Rifle with Curse Flames. And for melee, I think the Bagnax win. Flash Knuckles are a better accessory. than Putrid Sen is. Mostly just because defense is kind of busted. And Ichor and Cursed Flames, after the nerfs to Ichor and the buffs to Cursed Flames, I think they perform fairly similarly. Summoner tends to get better benefit out of Ichor. But overall, I think they're really not too much different. Okay, we got one Abomination. Yeah, and you can use the Dryad to make artificial biomes in Hardmode, which means the main differences between the biomes, if you're going to do that, is the ease of access of those things. You know, the Dryad can be inconvenient to have to go do. The items that you cannot easily get in an artificial biome, those would be the drops from the Hardmode mimics and the biome chests, which are exclusive to their respective world. And in pre-hard mode, when you can't make the alternate evil biome. The items there are essentially exclusive, except for the ones that can be crafted in a graveyard, which would be the accessories that you get from the orbs and hearts. But overall, the main reason that I would be playing on Crimson instead of Corruption is for Flesh Knuckles. That's really the only reason. With a couple of runs also doing Ichor. Usually low damage stuff. And it's just because, at the end of the day, defense is incredibly powerful, and for a large number of challenge runs that I do, I'm not really dealing damage in a way that, like, I can't, how am I trying to put this? Damage buffs are useless. Defense buffs are incredibly useful, because when you're doing stuff like this, damage is completely, there's no reason for me to have damage. It does actually nothing. Whereas defense is incredibly beneficial, and defense is really strong to begin with, so it makes sense to be playing on a Crimson world. The one exception to that would be something like Flare Gun only. Flare Gun only, I used a Corruption world because of the Cursed Flares, which were really good. Yeah, Devours can be annoying. Okay, I need more Abominations. Although not urgently. We can go mining first. Let me reforge. Actually, I should save for my Cobalt or Mithril pickaxe. There's not really much reason to reforge the Molten one. We're about to replace it. What am I missing for Spelunker potions? Moonglow? Yeah, looks like Moonglow. Okay. Let's plant some Moonglow. Now we can also pop by the jungle and collect any naturally occurring Moonglow. Oh, that's probably what I ran out of for builder potions too. Do you like magic storage? Not particularly. I mean, it was fine. It was nice for Calamity because Calamity just had a ton of stuff and I didn't have to think about it. But I would not use it for non-modded. I mean, I don't really have much trouble organizing stuff to begin with. And I found it more annoying having to do all the upgrades and stuff than just having a chest system that's organized and coherent. Even when you play Summoner who's not benefit from crit potions, picking Crimson is still better because of Ichor. Yeah, I mean, Ichor is really good for Summoner, because Summoner has a lot of very frequent low damage attacks. Yeah, that's what I thought happened. Tad bit inconvenient. Mostly because it's going to be a little bit tricky getting stingers with the jungle like this. Come on, Queen Bee. The Hornet. The Moss Hornet. Come on. Come on, go. I need stingers. Queen Bee, I need stingers. Summon some bees. There we go. Okay, we got a couple stingers. You got Arby's? Nice, what'd you get? Well, like, the beehives are not the intended way to do this challenge. We had to do it for the Wall of Flesh because there was no other way. But my intention is not to just use beehives to kill things. In fact, I'm going to put most of these in here. Because I just got a bunch of them so we wouldn't have to keep grinding more every time I wanted to fight the Wall of Flesh. Okay, did we get any Moonglow? I didn't. Let me check. There was a tiny... jungle over here. Comprehensive guide to melee speed. I mean, I basically did that in the video where I talked about lucky reforges. I think it was one of those videos I talked about reforges. I mean, I basically went through all of the numbers for melee speed and when they would apply. I think there was maybe one thing that I neglected to mention, which there might be some kind of rounding issue with a couple of them that caused them to be one speed faster. I think the Terrorblade has that, but I basically already did that. Okay, there's a Moonglow. Let me plant the rest of these seeds. Hopefully by the time I get back, we'll have more Moonglow. Give me a Spunky Wonky. I have one mining potion, which I'm going to make, but save for later. Put the chisel on. I should be able to just scrape together cobalt without a spelunker potion. I can save that. Did I kill the thing yet? The Wall of Flesh? Yes, we are in Hardmode now. It only took like 4 or 5 hours of trying to kill the Wall of Flesh, but we got it. It's dead now. Should change the stream title. I'm lazy. And like the stream's gonna exist as a VOD too. It's whatever, it's fine. Just in case I need more spunky wonkies. Ah, Pinky. Nah, I don't really care that much. Where is all this, it was Palladium, wasn't it? Yeah. Time is it for me right now? 4 PM. That's right, these things actually deal damage. Mining speed and Spelunker potions kind of breaks the progression of Hardmode ores. If by breaks the progression you mean save several hours mining, then sure. That's a ruby. We're gonna die here. There's Palladium right there, though. Which is a pretty short trip from that. When you still need the other ores. Yeah, but you get them really quickly. I think is what they're saying. I don't think ore progression is a particularly well thought out part of Terraria. I mean, pre-Hardmode is much worse. At least Hardmode actually requires you to get the other ores. Pre-Hardmode, you just ignore them entirely or immediately skip to the high tier ones. Copper's worthless. Even iron is fairly worthless outside of a couple specific items you can craft. So all the time there is no progression? No, there's progression in the sense that you have to go from one to the other. It's like how Minecraft has more progression, right? Like Minecraft, you go from wood to stone to iron to diamond. That's progression. In hard mode, you go from palladium to mithril to adamantite. That's progression. It's a fast progression, but it is a progression. I need 7 more palladium. Not near anywhere. Pre-hard mode has no progression. You can just immediately skip to the high ones. Gold is quite bad. No, I mean, a gold bow is a solid weapon for the early game. A gold broadsword will kick ass. I mean, sure, it's not incredibly powerful, but it's good. Gets the job done. Water sparking is insanely good for some reason. Yeah, they buffed it quite considerably. It used to be fairly bad, and then they decided they wanted it to be good, so they buffed it. Man, I am having a real tough time finding palladium. It's gonna be tough making greater healing potions. There's a wizard in bondage nearby. Wait, a nymph. Hold on. Hold on. Nah, she despawned. Those are already there. There's no need to defeat any bosses after the wild flesh to get those ores. You just mine ore, make a pickaxe, then mine the other. Yeah, but I mean, that is a progression. Man, why can I not find... Okay, there was a chunk of palladium. Not a fun progression? Yeah, but I'm not... I don't really know that I would consider Calamity system to be more fun. It brought up the Calamity progression system, which... Sure. Makes it so that there is a progression system, but it also linearizes it. In a way that it felt like I would beat a boss, I would go mine the next door, then I would beat a boss, then I would go mine the next door. Rather than leaving it up to the player to do whatever you want. I'll use this for the hard models. Is this a clue? A Blue's Clues? Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail. Mail! Deadly. Sure. I don't want to blow my spelunker yet. Yes I do. Mushy ladybugs are one of the most annoying enemies in the game, I gotta say. And the gold is really soft. Yeah, but it's not like Terraria is dripping with verisimilitude. Zombies also don't exist in the real world. Fun fact. Neither do skeletons. Usually human beings just leave behind a pile of acid. Favorite game except for Terraria? I like Rainbow. Terraria has atmospheric pressure. Terraria has giant flying dragons. What's your second least favorite game? Well, my least favorite game would be Noida. My second least favorite... I mean, it's tough because I don't really play games that I don't like. Hang on, let me pick the second least favorite game in my Steam library. Let's see. I mean, I didn't really like Borderlands 2 that much, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of bleh. I don't like Counter-Strike. Oh, probably Content Warning. I did not like Content Warning. I'm gonna go with Content Warning. Content Warning felt like a bad Lethal Company ripoff. Everything in Content Warning felt forced. Is how I would put it. Like, it felt like in Lethal Company, the comedy would come naturally. Just because of the way the game is designed and the situations that arise. But in Content Warning, it felt like it was all forced and manufactured to just make, like, funny clips. Which is the entire game. I mean, you're literally, like, YouTubers going into mines to make content. But I didn't really find it very fun. Oh, that's right. I don't have a hunter potion. What are the specs of my PC? I have an RTX 2060. And I've had this PC for quite a few years. I might look at upgrading it at some point, but graphics card's expensive. Yeah, I built this back in 2020. How do you feel about Celeste? I mean, Celeste was fun. I didn't really vibe with the game enough that I felt motivated to go back and do, like, the B-sides and stuff beyond that. I also didn't... I tried streaming Celeste several times. It was a lot of what I did in Celeste. I was doing it on stream or whatever. And, I kept getting copyright claims for the soundtrack whenever I would stream it. Which is not fun. And tends to make me not want to stream games when every single thing that you make with it immediately gets copyrighted. Or copyright claimed. Because fighting copyright claims is a massive pain in the ass. Even with... it happened with Calamity Mod. One of the streams I'd done of Calamity Mod had gotten copyright claimed. And even with, like, express permission, like, written from DM Dokuro, to be able to play Calamity Mod music in a stream where I am playing Calamity Mod, I still had to go back and forth, like, 3 times with rejected appeals. Just to be able to monetize the video, which was just a tiny shit stream anyway. Like, it got maybe 1,000 views or something. Calamity music is copyrighted? Yes. I mean, virtually all video game music will be copyrighted. It's usually a question of whether or not the person who owns the copyright cares, and oftentimes with more indie music like that, it'll come down to crediting and whether or not you're playing the appropriate thing. I think it was DM Dokuro in the Calamity community. No, I mean, like, DM Dokuro made it for Calamity mod. It's not DM Dokuro going around copyright claiming things. It's published under a label. And the publisher is the one that copyright claims things. It's not the artist. In most situations. I think in Risk of Rain 2, Chris Christodolo, whatever his name is, really likes copyright claiming anyone that uses his music. In that situation, I think it's probably him. But in most situations, it's the... Like, Lena Rain wasn't going around copyright claiming my Celeste streams. And I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to be able to play the soundtrack of Celeste when you're playing Celeste. But it's just like the automated system or the publisher going around copyright claiming things and not caring. Yeah, it's kind of whack. The Risk of Rain 2, the Risk of Rain composer is very, very, very against anyone using the Risk of Rain soundtrack if they're not playing Risk of Rain or Risk of Rain 2. It's out of, I suppose, pure pettiness. Pettiness isn't quite the word. I mean, it is completely valid to copyright claim it. It is his music. But essentially, regardless of how small your project or channel is, he'll copyright claim just to send the message about not using the music. I've heard of several very small people or very small projects getting, claims due to using it. Oh, I have Spelunker potions. I suppose litigiousness is the other way to put it. Kobe Fox, that's no problem with that. Whatever the label that was that handled his music was strike stuff. He didn't like that happening very much, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I think the problem is once you, like, sell the... Like, once you publish it under that music publisher, it can be really difficult to, like, take the rights away from them. If they're behaving poorly with it. Because, I mean, it is... their music at that point. I mean, no, it's... Getting copyright struck for using certain music is very silly. I mean, they were perfectly valid. Like, having a copyright system is good. Because as an artist, like, it really fucking sucks for people to just be re-uploading things that you poured creative effort, time, and whatnot into, and then getting paid for it with you seeing none of it. Like, it makes sense why those things exist. It's just implemented in a way that's ripe for abuse, and, can be really, really frustrating to deal with. Like, if somebody can just steal something you made and get paid for it, and you not getting anything for it, like, that sucks. Not even with just music, like, it'll happen with, I mean, people could just take a video that I made and re-upload it and call it theirs and then monetize it, right? Like, that'd be pretty fucked up. Putting it in the background of a stream. That's not like taking traffic away from the original. Yeah, but in that situation, you usually want to get permission from the developers to do it. Like, it's a gray area where you probably won't get in trouble for it, but some people still might not like that. Because, I mean, what if the artist that composed it... Like, what if you are... I don't know. What if you're a fucking neo-Nazi, right? And you're like spewing neo-Nazi propaganda or like alt-right stuff, or like you're podcasting, and spewing a bunch of like alt-right talking points or something, and you're playing the Celeste soundtrack over that, right? Like, no, I don't think that the composers there, Lena Raine or anyone else involved, would be like, yes, I would like the Celeste soundtrack being used, in the background of this. Right, like having some avenue for the person who created it to be like, hey, maybe don't use my music, and don't get paid, like, don't use my music to get paid in the pursuit of something that I find important. If the person is a no-Nazi, why are they not banned yet? I mean, depending on the platform that you're on, being a Nazi is not a bannable offense. Or holding alt-right views is not a bannable offense. YouTube generally, I think, doesn't like Nazis. Twitter's a lot softer on them. And, you know, holding alt-right views or using dog whistles without being overt Nazi propaganda, is completely possible. I mean, I don't understand why, but whenever I see things about, like, large live streamers, particularly on Twitch, it's always something about them, like, being alt-right or, having shitty views towards, like, trans people or things like that. Maybe it's just a couple of them that are very prominent, but... Oh, I need to get a Hellforge. Oh, I have a Hellforge. That's right, I made a wolf pickaxe. But it was about copyright, and then we brought up the point of... It's important to have some system for the creator to be able to go, hey, don't use the music from my game about a trans woman's journey of self-discovery in, like, in alt-right videos supporting, beliefs that trans people are not deserving of human rights or things like that. Like, that's a valid point to have a creator have that avenue. And then, I mean, it can just be a point of an artist being like, hey, I put a lot of, like, time and effort, and in some cases, you know, emotion into making something. I don't want people to just use it for things other than what I meant it for. And that's perfectly valid to say. That artwork can mean a lot to the people that created it, and it's reasonable to be like, hey, I don't want this being used outside of that. And in some cases, it can just be, you know, in a purely transactional sense. I made this for money. It's something that, you know, legally I have the rights to. And if it's being used, I want to, you know, see some compensation for that. It's something that I made for because it's my living. I'm an artist for what I do. I'm usually not particularly well off. You know, I don't want people going around seeing money from things that I'm supposed to be getting money from. And I think all those are the valid reasons to have a copyright system. It's just that the one we have is ripe for abuse and is not particularly well set up. And I don't know how you'd fix it. I think it's easy to come up with solutions in theory, but in practice they could be very difficult to actually get to work well. I'm sure plenty of other solutions could have similar issues or go too far in the opposite direction, where it becomes very difficult to copyright claim anything if it goes too far on the creator side. 337, 300, yeah, that should be enough. I want to shimmer this down to adamantite. I think specifically adamantite head, titanium chest, and leggings would eke out the most defense. Let me do that. This is 15. Wait, do I have that backwards? I might have that backwards. I think I have that backwards. I think it's actually titanium mask and then adamantite chest and leggings. Can't you shimmer bows? No, you shimmer the ore. Let me check. Yeah, it's the adamant. Okay, I had it backwards. Let me shimmer these. Okay, well, this is going to be a huge defense buff. Oh, man, because I had to craft the... Oh, wait, I still have this breastplate. Let's shimmer that. How does one get 1,000,000 bees? Beehives. I mean, you get bees to make bees, right? It's the bee economy. Beenomics. Okay. Get our adamantite bows. Get our leggings. Brings us up to 73 defense, which is a pretty good amount. Could be better. You. I'll sell these two. I don't need more adamantite for anything. Yeah, the bees unionized after defeating the Wall of Flesh, and that's why they get their damage buff in Hardmode. That's actually why all of the enemies in Hardmode get their damage buff. It's not because they inherently get stronger when the Spirits of Light and Dark release. It's because after defeating the Wall of Flesh, they all wise up, join a union, and then they get stronger... they get more rights and more power, which is represented by an increase in damage and HP. Now, in Classic Mode, because of strong anti-union laws that have been passed by the Relogic developers, they cannot unionize, which is why they're stuck at their initial strength for the duration of Classic Mode. I don't like the Axe of Regrowth. I don't like that it replants acorns. And you can ask Relogic this on Twitter. They'll verify it. Although I'm sure they use some kind of corporate jargon to deflect blame. Let's kill some wyverns. I need honey. Honey. Do. Your favorite early hard mode wings to make? Visually I like frozen wings the most. Usually though I'll just end up making pixie because they're the most consistently obtainable. In this one, it's probably gonna be pixie wings. Oh no, I don't. It's gonna be really difficult to make wings. Okay. Let's see. I think one queen bee should be capable of killing a... Let's see, what's the contact damage for wyvern? On master mode, it's pretty high. 3 queen bees should be enough for 1 wyvern. We'll have to see. Let's... Where's the merchant? Up there. What blocks am I working with? We got oil stone. We got mud. Let me just mud up. Yeah, Pixie found me got his fast clocks too. You know, let me use platforms so I won't lock myself off with our mech boss arena. We can make stone platforms really easily. But I need 2 fast clocks. If I want to make... That's the wrong one. An Ankh Shield, which would be beneficial because it would provide immunity to poisoned, which we would be facing very frequently because of the bees. It consolidates accessory slots. Right now, we are just putting on a Bezoar for poison immunity. Trapping Ice Golem seems like a way easier way than getting so much pixie dust. I mean, you get 99 pixie dust surprisingly fast. It's not as bad as it sounds. Let me remove this graveyard. We should need to craft more hives for a little while. Oh, and let me get my, I left my bass statue in the dungeon. I should get that back. Yeah, you can shimmer each Ankh Shield component into the counterpart if you're not aware. I feel like you should be allowed to use Tattered Bee Wings. I mean, I'm allowed to. I would just need to get one to drop. They're also not a pre-mech wing, and they only drop after 1 mechanical boss has been killed. But it's just, it's what, like a 1 in 150 drop? Maybe they increased it to 1 in 100 and 1.4.4. It's not very common, and it'd be a little bit tricky to get. Now, we probably will need to farm a good amount of hornets, so we might get one to drop. If we do, I'll use it at least in a vanity slot. A fast statue? Why do you just have a straight drop there? I don't understand the question. I should move this slightly more to the side. I want Queen Bee to enrage. I need more bees. I'll think about how I want to place this. Thankfully, because of Shimmer, we shouldn't need to kill very many wyverns. We can just kind of keep reusing the same pair of wings. I got some notifications on Discord. Let me check. They're not important. Nope, they're not important. High quality wood is derived from happier sheep. It could be sheep happiness. It could also just be that sheep that are happy are kept in better conditions, and the better conditions lead to better wool. Whether it be the diet they're fed, or the pens they're kept in, or whatever. You're talking about calx clearly stands for Numino-Micro-Ultrascopic Silica Volcanognosis. What would you do if I was a bus driver? I drive buses? What else would I do? Let me get Queen Bee up here. Okay, we probably got enough HP to just tank most of Queen Bee's attacks out right now. We can sustain pretty well. Oh wait, but wyverns aren't gonna spawn if I have Queen. Hold on, we gotta. Okay. I'm gonna get a water candle. Water candles are really effective in space. What did you call me for short? I'm not short. I'm long. Tall. I'm tall. 5'10". How long? 7,000 meters. Can you call me Sorby Warby? No. You're taller? What proof do you have? Hello, wyvern. Wyvern. I can make battle potions. Should probably do that. There's not really a good way for me to get wyverns to show up. Come on, wyvern. 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 Nope. Okay, well, we teleport back home, and then we do something. Your cat likes my videos? I like your cat. Does that count as... Huh. Okay. Enemies dying to fallen stars will put them in the bestiary. I guess it counts as player damage. Run invalidated? You're not valid. Oh wait, I don't have vertebra, so I can't make battle potions. Wyvern, wyvern, wyvern. I mean, I'm still... Oh, clumsy balloon slime. Clumsy balloon slime. Can I get Queen Bee to hit that? Where's the wyvern at? There he is. Come on, Queen Bee, enrage. There we go. Okay. I don't know if she's winning this fight against the wyvern. Come Come on. Okay. If she spawns more bees, she might. I need the bees to be attacking and not Queen Bee, because Queen Bee's just gonna die. Oh. Come on, bees. Okay, bees are going in. Bees are going in. Okay, just bee it up. 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 Bee. Aggressive. Bee. E. Aggressive. Bee. Aggressive. Bee. E. Aggressive. Okay, okay. It's fine. It's fine. These are gonna regrow, and then we'll have the jungle back, and we can resummon Queen Bee. So one Queen Bee did almost one Wyvern. That's better than Skeletron. Do I have my Hive wand? I do, but I don't have Hive. Hold on. Do I have Hive in here? I used a lot of it to craft things. There we go. What is the gimmick here? Wild guess. I mean, look at the screen here. We're using Queen Bee to kill things. It's written in the description. Okay, I need to unjungle my jungle. Hold on. Grapple should be effective at it. There we go. Okay, Wyvern's at 270. I could use this to... I mean, I could just get another Wyvern. Right? I mean... We didn't get enough souls from one. It took about 1.5 Queen Bees to kill a Wyvern. Oh. Sucks to be that demolitionist, I guess. Oh. Okay, here, let me, I'll update the stream name with Hardmode now. Let's see, close, edit. Okay, there we go. Queen Bee is the best against Wyvern. I mean, she's very effective. That was 12,000 HP that we went through. That'll be a similar rate that we do damage against the Destroyer. And Queen Bee will also get destroyed by the Destroyer, but we can just summon another one. And then we do it again. And again. And again. Until the Destroyer dies. He has, what, 160,000 HP? Might be close, but, I think it'll be doable. Especially since the bees should be more effective. On account of being... able to hit constantly. What's the gimmick this run? Letting the bee kill the game? Pretty much. It's written in the description. I'd suggest checking there. Okay. Uh, 140 blocks. That one, Aspid. I mean, this is the most effective we've seen Queen Bee. I think ever. She really did well against this Wyvern. And the increased damage from the bees is great. It's much better than the Wall of Flesh was. I'm not seeing a Wyvern. Not infinite HP, so killing Shrill is only a matter of how many Queen Bees you can summon. Yeah. And there's also a time pressure. It's possible we may need to play around with, like, beehives to spawn additional bees, depending on how much DPS Queen Bee can dish out. But, We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. 4:30 a.m. is when morning comes, not 5:30. Might be much longer than your lawnmower playthrough? No. No. I can't pause time here. This is not journey mode. This is just master mode. We don't have the option of choosing to take as long as we want. Yeah, we can only guess is 12 hours of calc homework due in 3 days. That's 4 hours a day. Or if you procrastinate until 2 days, 8 hours a day. Or if you procrastinate until 1 day, 12 hours. Or if you just don't do it, no hours, but you're gonna start failing your calc class. So it's up to you. It's in your ball. The ball is in your court. Let me light this place up a bit. It's dark here. Good math. I'm renowned for my mathematical prowess. You love algae, but you hate trigonometry? What? Oh, algebra. Dude, I haven't done math in a while. I don't remember the differences. I like algae, though. Algae's pretty cool. I had these algae wafers, that I would feed to the isopods in my bioactive enclosure. They like the algae. Algae's pretty cool. Trig has to do with sinning. That sounds like more fun mathematics. Sine, cosine, and tan are functions. Like social functions? A ball? I'm not really too big on those, although I am down for just functions where you eat and they have free food. Shine? Do you mean shine? Japanese doesn't really have a C sound. It's shi. It's kind of weird thinking about it from an English standpoint, but... How many noble prices do I have? 6. Like the noble 1 through 6 from Halo Reach, right? Or do you mean the 6 noble gases? There we go. Our wyvern friend is back. Integration is funky. Yeah, it can be really difficult for people to, when they immigrate, feel integrated into a society. It can take many years, and sometimes it'll never happen at all. But it's something we should strive to achieve as a society, you know? I'm just gonna fight up here. Spoken like a true chum? Yeah, I am your friend. Probably the Godskin Noble duo in Elden Ring. There's a Godskin Noble duo? I was only familiar with the regular Godskin duo. I'd totally believe you if you just said that Elden Ring decided to slap 2 Godskin nobles in the same room, though. That sounds like something Elden Ring would do. Okay, one more bee. It's DLC only? I played the DLC. I don't remember any Godskin nobles, but that sounds believable. If I start talking about Elden Ring's DLC, though, I'm gonna upset people. So let's talk about Elden Ring's DLC. Man, what a disappointment that was. That was not worth 40 bucks. Yes, give me like 2 good bosses. And hours of wandering through empty areas with reused enemies for $40. Yes, thank you, waiter. Okay, let me get some... I guess I can get Vertebra. I'm just gonna lead this Queen Bee around to kill things. What bosses do I like? Midra and Mesmer were good. Most of the other ones weren't. Some of them were very bad. How much defense did Enraged Queen Bee get compared to regular? I don't think she has a defense increase. I think it's the same defense. There was the fact that the entire DLC is, well, huge swaths of the DLC is just reused content, either from the base game or from in the DLC, which is an incredibly egregious design decision that's just a slap in the face. I mean, you're sitting here... The entire overworld is filled with, like, the same enemies and dogs and rats that exist in the base game. The Abyss just has rats in it, and one, like, new enemy. That's more of, like, an interactive challenge. And then there's just the fucking rats from Dark Souls 3 that were reused in Elden Ring in the first place. Like, they weren't original to begin with. And then bosses. Oh, man. I loved wandering through that one spot and then finding 2 tree sentinels. And sure, it makes sense for the tree sentinels to be there. That's fine. What about the fact that you walk past those tree sentinels and then there's just a falling star beast and the only enemies in this region are reused bosses from the base game? And not even good bosses from the base game. You got 2 tree sentinels, one of them has a torch, cool. And then a fucking baby falling star beast. Oh, what about the giant finger areas that are completely empty and have, like, no reason to exist aside from one NPC quest that leads to an underwhelming boss? And they're just enormous giant areas. And there's, like, 2 of them. Oh, did you like Korea Manor? Was Korea Manor your favorite area in the base game? Well, how about we take a fort that looks just like the regular forts from the base game, except... we're going to fill it with enemies from Korea Manor. And that's it. That's the area. New enemies? What do you mean, new enemies? No, you got the Burger King guy that casts spells at you. And, you know, we've got some really cool new... some really, really cool new things to mix in your Flask of Wondrous Physic. We got the Sekiro Deflect tier. That's really cool. Have fun fighting the most annoying fucking mini-bosses in existence in order to obtain these new tiers. Do you like being one-shot or very nearly one-shot? Then you're gonna love it. And we're also going to lock behind the coolest new content in the game behind them. Let me go to the jungle. Go to the underground jungle. I can get stingers down there. Do you like leveling up? Do you like your runes feeling useful? Okay. Well, how about if we basically remove the concept of levels mattering here, and instead we implemented our own new level system. And in order to play the DLC, we're going to make you run around a mostly empty world with reused enemies for several hours collecting these scatter tree fragments. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a miserable time. And if you do that, have fun doing nothing for several hours. Do you like your enemies stopping during their attacks? Do you like them having openings? Well, don't play the DLC then. How do you feel about using slow, heavy weapons like Ultra Great Swords? I love Ultra Great Swords. Ultra Great Swords are super fun. The DLC doesn't love Ultra Great Swords. Ultra Great Swords are, like, genuinely unusable, especially power stance ones on some bosses. You ever try to use double Ultra Great Swords on R'Lana? Yeah, don't. I was playing on a dance pad, fighting R'Lana with double Ultra Great Swords, and she fucking doesn't have openings. She can just choose to dodge your attack every time that you try to do it. Because the DLC was not... The bosses were not designed with people using slow weapons in mind. Yeah, bees level up damage in hard mode. God, I can't find anything to kill Queen Bee on. I'm trying my best here. But she's not dying. I was kind of hoping to get some vertebra. Ooh. Sandstorm. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. Actually. We could get a sand elemental, get a forbidden fragment, and then that's a good thing. And even, like, the new content, like, the jails, the frozen jails, those were really cool. But they fall into the same problems that all of the side dungeons in Elden Ring had, which is that they're incredibly repetitive, they don't have good rewards, and the bosses at the end are incredibly underwhelming. I would have rather just had one large, like, legacy dungeon of those jails than have 3 separate ones, that all felt the same, and... Sir? Excuse me? Mr. Dune Splicer, What? I don't like it here. Okay. So the new jails all had bosses. The forges did not have bosses. That was kind of their gimmick. They were areas without bosses. And you know, that could have been really cool and well done if the enemies in the forges were not miserable to fight. The entire point is you need to get behind them and hit them in the back. However, they have incredibly good tracking and will snap around whenever you try to get behind them and hit you. And it's really annoying. They made an enemy concept and then made trying to fight the enemy miserable. Oh yeah, there's a golden bunny. Okay. No, I wouldn't kill the golden bunny. I can't. At least we had a lot of money from Queen Bee. That's nice. We already have nectar. Yeah, if the enemies in the forges didn't suck, they might have been cool. And then the jail places. I mean, those meat guys. The Houts. The Hurt guys in the blue prisons. Those were really cool enemies. They were freaky looking. They weren't that annoying to fight aside from the ones that screamed. But like having them as basically the only enemy in 3 different dungeons just got really boring by the end. They were cool the first time, and then the rest of the time it was just, oh, these guys again. I'd see a meatloaf. And the bosses, what were the bosses in the jails? There was the one that is pinwheel, except if you try to do it with low damage, it's like genuinely impossible. It's pinwheel if he had some random insta-kill attack. There was the swordsman guy, the like demi-human swordsman, which was kind of a unique boss. And yeah, I mean, he was pretty cool. He was like yeah, he had this Melania thing that he did. And he was kind of a pushover because you just attack him, he gets stun locked, and then he dies because he doesn't have much HP. But he was a cool, unique enemy until you go to that one area of the DLC that's just demi-humanville. And there's that mini-boss guy again. For some reason, despite the fact that his ashes said that that was like some renowned ancient swordsman who hid himself in exile. There was just another one. He's not even a boss. He's just there. And then you have a demi-human queen, the best boss from the base game, put in the DLC for some fucking reason, along with a bunch of demi-humans, the best enemies from the base game. And then what was the boss in the other one? You had the demi-human swordsman, you had the pinwheel guy, and then what was the boss in the other jail? We live in Africa? No. I genuinely can't remember what the other boss was. It was one of the Coast Blades? Oh, so it was just... which ones are the Coast Blades? Genuinely, I don't even remember that boss. I think they just died very quickly, because it was basically just a regular enemy. The annoying jumpy ones? Aren't those the ascetics? Okay, yeah, it was one of those guys. The DLC also has just a shit ton of bosses that are just NPCs. And that's it. They're just guys in armor with swords. Most of the time they're side bosses. Sometimes they're not, like the gank fight before Radon. Ancient Dragon Man, yeah. Anyway. The very first boss, most fun in the DLC, is the guy with the sword and crossbow. Yeah. And then, like, the final fight in the DLC. What the fuck was that, man? Like, from every perspective, what the fuck is that fight? From my understanding, they did nerf the fight, especially visually. And it's now much less annoying for the frame rate. And I think they also nerfed the cross slash. I haven't fought it since pre-patch, so I don't know how much better it is now. But especially pre-patch, that was just a miserable experience. At the end of it, I was like, I never want to do this again. And then I never did it again. Lore-wise, I don't know if they just wrote themselves into a corner or if that's the story that they wanted to have, but man, that did not feel like a good payoff. There was no build-up throughout the DLC, because I didn't find, like, the one NPC's questline who will explain to you the entire plot of the DLC. So it was just kind of like, I'm expecting this guy. Why the fuck is this guy here again? I already killed him in the base game. And he wasn't even, like, a super, like, notable or cool boss. I mean, I guess he was fine, but why is he here again? And it didn't feel built up. Like, the DLC built up Mesmer a ton. Like, to the point that you'd think, like, oh, Mesmer is going to be, like, this huge, like, final boss or something. And he was a really important boss. He wasn't the final boss. But the whole time you were seeing references to Mesmer. You'd read descriptions, and they tell you that Mesmer was there. This is the story behind Mesmer. These are Mesmer's people. It's built up. You'd go through areas and see the fire being used. And that's similar to how the DLCs in the previous Souls games had worked. Like, it feels like Mesmer would have been the final, or at least a very noteworthy boss in those. You know, you go through Ulasil and the whole place is dripping with the Abyss stuff. You go down into the Abyss. I think there are some references to Manus in item descriptions. And even if you don't know that Manus specifically is going to be there, you're like, okay, there's going to be some Abyss guy. There's going to be something big at the end here. In Dark Souls 2, it's all built around the Sunken Kings. You see Sin at the beginning of this... Oh, sorry, not the Sunken King. The previous Kings. You see Sin at the beginning of the Sunken King DLC. You know you're going to be fighting him. Same thing with Calamite in Artorias of the Abyss. Artorias is literally on the name of the DLC. The bosses there all seem built up to, and it makes sense when you find them. And like the old Iron King, you finally see Alon. You see the Alon Knights. You see why they're named there, why they're associated with the Iron King. You have Fume Knight, who's built up in item descriptions. In Dark Souls 3, you meet What's-Her-Face very quickly into the DLC. And when you fight her at the end, it's like, okay, this is a person that I knew existed, and I was kind of expecting to fight her. You weren't expecting the 3 phases, but, you know, it's not surprising. And then the other DLC ends with you fighting Gale, who you've been repeatedly interacting with throughout the DLCs, and it feels like it makes sense for them to be there. Radahn makes no fucking sense. You don't see references to him in item descriptions. He's dead. You killed him. There's no reason to suspect... Like, he doesn't really have an association with Miquella that was built up before. It all feels very ham-fisted, thrown in at the end. He's got, like, his one night guy, or night girl that's there. You're not seeing enemies associated with him there. And there's, like, one NPC's quest line that'll just info dump everything about it to you if you find them and talk to them in the giant world that's very easy to miss NPCs in. And otherwise, you're just flying blind, and it's like, okay, everything's been building up to Miquella. We get there. The fuck's Radahn doing here? It didn't feel like a good payoff there. And it could have been fine. If the fight was good, the fight wasn't good. The fight was miserable. It wasn't fun. I didn't feel good about doing it. And I didn't want to do it again. I mean, I found him once in Shadowkeep. Talked to him and then forgot he was there and didn't find him again. Yeah, we're talking about the Elden Ring DLC. Okay, so, I think I'm going to leave the mech bosses for tomorrow. We've made our way into Hardmode. We've been streaming for like 4 hours or something. And hopefully tomorrow I can actually be at 1080p instead of 720. I gotta think about the mech bosses. He never leaves Shadowkeep? Yeah, but you need to go get the scroll from the top of Shadowkeep and then give it to him, and I just forgot that he asked me to do something. And forgot he was there, because the DLC's giant and there's tons of NPCs. So I didn't remember to go back to him hours later when I found the scroll. And then I just missed all that information. Yeah, we killed the Wall of Flesh. We are in Hardmode. Our bee damage is increased. We're gonna probably want to get wings, which is probably gonna be farming pixies. I might make a little place to farm pixies. Could be worthwhile. And I'll be streaming tomorrow, probably at the same time. It's usually when I stream. I think the twins are probably going to be the easiest mech boss. They do have more HP than Skeletron, but the HP is split between two different guys, and I think the bees should be able to go between them pretty effectively. We might end up with both of them in their second phases, though, which could be awkward. The Destroyer will probably be the second easiest, and Prime will probably be the most difficult. Prime has the most defense, and he has all of the hands that will distract things. I'm honestly not even sure if we're going to be able to do Prime. He's the only one I'm uncertain about. We may need to come up with some ideas, or even AFK with him enraged and Queen Bee just in the world summoning bees or something. Yeah, Prime stays above you, which is where Queen Bee stays, but that'll probably lead to Queen Bee dying repeatedly, which could be awkward. But we don't have to deal with Prime for a while. I'm gonna manually farm Beam of Nations. I mean, I'll get them manually. It's not difficult to get a Beam of Nations. It was difficult to get hives, like the thousands of hives we needed for the Wall of Flesh. Because we used like 1,000 per attempt, and that's 5,000 hive blocks. But it's 5 hive and 5 honey, and it's very easy to farm. You just throw honey bombs. Stingers are the most difficult part. And it's not like stingers are particularly difficult to get. Okay. Oh, and we might get... I might get Flesh Knuckles, too. I think that's probably a worthwhile investment. 14 hours in. Yeah, bye, everyone.